Hi, this clip will have two parts. First part, a review of some past mentions from multi beggars to mere multi, plus a new related one, a potential double, or maybe a triple. Second part, the mystery of OPMs, other people's money runners ignoring Buffett's public advice, and why I, for once, choose to ignore it also, though not for very long. Okay, first, a review of some past stock mentions. Let's start with the best performers. My Argentinian stocks, mentioned 4 and 3 years ago and several times since, have been going gangbusters. EDN, Idonor, is now a 10 bagger, from 3 to 31 and going strong. Bank Galicia, GGAL, and Bank Macro, BMA, are 7 baggers each. Vista, VIST symbol, which I mentioned in passing, is a 15 bagger. Here are their charts. The circled M in blue is where the stock was first mentioned. The frame uncolored N is where the stock is now. And the frame T in orange is the target for easier visibility. Please freeze the screen one by one to refer to the stocks. Here they are. First, Idonor, EDN. Second one, Bank Galicia, GGAL. Third, Bank Macro, BMA. Last and prettiest is Vista, VIST. Please note the number of bags to the multi-baggers is noted on the side of the stock. Now, this is all in the past. Very pretty, but it's the past. So is that it? Are the stocks done zooming? Not in my opinion, because the turnaround of Argentina as a country isn't even partly done, as President Milei keeps cutting government ministries and erasing regulations. So when will these stocks be done rising? Once they reach a previous peak at least, following all the government cutting. So how much can they rise? Probably another double from here. Maybe some more. Maybe. If they reach new peaks. But you may say, if the US market will crater next year, as I see it doing, won't Argentinian stocks fall in sympathy? Yes, they might. But they are still below the real value. So even though they may not go up in a straight line, what does ever go in a straight line? The higher potential is still there, in my opinion. But yes, at this point, it's a little bit late in the game in getting into them. Or is there one stock where there is some juice left in Argentina? Perhaps the safest one, in my opinion, with a dividend too, is TEO, T-E-O, Telecom Argentina, now $8.50. Previous peak was 25, which would make TEO a 3-bagger if it reaches the previous peak. The peak before that was a bit above 15, so it would be a double if it got to that one. And the stock also has a 2% dividend. Here is the chart. That's TEO. Okay. What of other stock mentions only beginning to move? One, VFC, a branded product company, has begun to move. Now at 2150, the previous peak was 85. It may not get back there in this cycle, but as the S&P zooms from here to 7400, yes, in my opinion, on the wings of Janet Yellen new cash, VFC may zoom to 55, at least the peak before the last peak. That's more than a double. Here is VFC chart. Freeze it. Will VFC get there? Who knows? Sleuth it out yourself to find out. See it as a sleuthing exercise. But sleuth how? You got it. Buy my books and see the method there. Next is Albemarle, ALB symbol, mentioned a week or two ago at 90-something. It's a lithium processor. It has begun to move also as lithium prices fell too. Fell again. Remember, lithium for this company is an input, so the costs are lower. ALB is already at 101. Previous peak was above 300, so it's a potential triple from here, plus a dividend of 1.3% if it reaches the previous peak. However, the ultimate target for this one, in my opinion, is more than 500, as noted before. But it may reach it only after 2025 crash is over, once commodities, which will fall in the crash, start moving again, as will the economy. Here is the chart of Albemarle, which I showed before. Next mention is LUMIN, ILLM-T, a Canadian digital marketer selling below the value of its collective R&D investment. The stock has been treading water since it was mentioned, rising a few percent, but mainly dormant, as it had done twice before, remember, in 2015 and in 2019-2020, at the end of the last two R&D cycles. Its third R&D cycle, investment cycle, just ended. Here is its chart. Freeze it. Will LUMIN zoom again? Well, the company has been buying its share like crazy. It reduced the share count by more than 20%. Earnings are to be reported next week. In the past cycles, LUMIN was at 10 bigger in the first cycle, at 20 bigger in the second, as you will see from the chart. What will it be in the current cycle? Of course, it will not be any bigger at all. Or maybe it will. How to find out? Sleuth it yourself and find out. Okay, enough about market zooming here and stock zooming. As you know, I see now the market zooming more and then plunging. Why? Here I have to mention the mystery of OPM runners ignoring Buffett's public advice. What's the mystery? Warren Buffett has been selling massively and has now $130+ billion in cash, out of a portfolio of about $1 trillion. This means Buffett is practically shouting on the rooftops that he can buy the market cheaper in the future. How far cheaper? How far in the future? How soon? He doesn't say, of course. Still, you'd think that OPM runners would sell too, but they don't. Why not? Because people who run other people's money are not really paid to make money, but to outperform the market. If they don't, even for a quarter or two, they're at a risk of losing their job. How do I know? Because I have half a dozen friends, perhaps more, who run billions, not theirs. And I also mentor occasionally one or two young people in that industry, and they all complain they must perform quarterly, or the job is at risk. Warren Buffett said he doesn't think like that. He owned the joint. However, Buffett is close to $1 trillion portfolio, so he must sell well in advance, even if the market will zoom higher for 2 or even 3 more quarters. OPM runners cannot do so. They have to hold stock to the very last moment to keep their job. Now, why don't I sell everything I have? Why do I still own some stocks? For 3 reasons. First, because I don't own hundreds of billions of stocks. I wish I did. I own only a goodly number of millions, which admittedly became much goodlier after Argentina and Meta were so kind to me, as well as some other stocks were. Thank you, Mrs. Karma. But second, unlike OPM runners, who must get permission to sell, they run dollars by committee. I have full authority over my family's money. But third, right now I don't want to sell yet because of the general fear. I'll wait for the market euphoria to sell into. It's a 50-year-old instinct. And as I said, unlike Buffett, who has to sell billions, my portfolio is smaller than his, even after Argentina and Meta and a few other gifts by Mrs. Karma. Thanks again. Right now, the market isn't yet euphoric. The fear and greed index is in the 40s, neutral to fearful, and I'm fairly convinced a euphoria is coming next year as OPM runners buy in a panic. They have too much cash on the portfolios, and not only that, but Auntie Yellen keeps throwing more cash at them, so they have to buy to keep up with the market. As of now, 91% of OPM runners have been underperforming the market. How do I know? Because I talked to a few pension fund allocators also, and they have been shifting OPM money around from laggards to the lucky few who manage to outperform. So the laggards simply must buy here. To sum up, Argentina 7 and 10 and 15 baggers will probably rise further from here, perhaps a double, perhaps more. Teo in Argentina is still good for a double or perhaps a triple, and it also has a dividend to boot. And it's a commodity, it's a telecommunication company, so it's safer. Albemarle would likely rise from 101 to close to 300, a triple, though not in a straight line. LUMIN may surprise next week, or maybe it will not. And the market collectively would likely zoom into Q1 or Q2 next year, when euphoria will likely make a comeback, in my opinion. Here's the chart of my total market view of the S&P 500. You can freeze it. I know it makes for dire viewing, 30% up and 80% down. But please remember, it's my view, and I could of course be wrong in all of the above. Or maybe I won't? Just in case, please see all of this as a mere sleuthing exercise in an idle scenario by a semi-retired sleuth investor. That's all for now. Please let me know in a comment below what you think of the above. And if you like it, please subscribe to the channel and forward it to all your subscribers and friends who they subscribe to. Then buy my books, The Sleuth Investor, The Advanced Sleuth Investor, so you can learn the methods I use to try and take the money of all those market players who haven't read my books. I'll see you next time. And meantime, thank you very much for watching.